Welcome one and all to continuing coverage of the 2021 World Series of Poker. It is event number 79 as we begin to pull the curtain on the festivities here in this time-shifted iteration of the World Series. Ali Najad alongside my partner in the booth, Brent Hanks, for tonight's action. We have 6 players at our official final table of this Hall of Fame bounty. And Brent, this is a little bit of a different look.
It certainly is, Ali. What a special event. A little tribute to World Series of Poker Hall of Fame.
And speaking of Hall of Fame, how about the German Ole Schemion, one of the original crushers from out there in Deutschland, your chip leader with almost 7 million. There he is, his hometown, Berlin. Certainly not a newcomer to the felt. He is sitting on a humongous advantage against the field in pursuit of that $172,000 first place prize with roughly $28,000 on deck for 6th place finish. 71 places were paid. As you saw, the payouts brought to you by Cuervo. There are no strangers, and certainly you all are no strangers to the way we go about things. Cards in the air momentarily. Button will be on Jerry Wong, a well-liked and familiar sight on the circuit with 4.4 million in career tournament earnings.
That was the number, right? They say you had to be 40 before they would induct you.
Blinds are at 30 and 60,000 with a 60K big blind ante. Mark Rivera lays.
Schemion, also known online as Wizzo Wizzo, one of the first OGs to really start getting it done. I think he may have been the original German to start crushing this game.
I don't know.
Pre-Fedor.
It is a bet.
Forward motion, that's it. Yep.
Bet 150,000.
I don't think it's a line, but forward motion plays for sure.
I think I'm going to break this thing. I'm breaking this thing for sure.
James Alexander threatening to damage the audio equipment. Probably not used to having a mic pack while he's out there navigating. Did have a 19th place finish in the World Series of Poker main event once upon a time. Did Alexander back in 2013, good for 285,000. Has 725K in career tournament earnings. Does the 43-year-old who lives out in San Antonio, Texas. Owns the Flying Walrus Bar. A UT Austin alum with 21 total World Series of Poker cashes. Also has a ring from back in 2016-17 on the circuit here in Rio.
The Flying Walrus, Ali.
That sounds like either a wrestling move or a really unsavory bedroom maneuver.
Like a Beatles B-side, I think.
Is it actually a Beatles B-side?
Heads up.
No.
The pause made it good. Heads up as Benjamin Underwood defends. The flop comes all hearts, ace, 6, king, and he's got himself the nut flush draw.
Check.
2 quick checks. 4 on the turn, and those 3s are actually still good. Not that Alexander would know it, and we'll see how the 30-year-old who lives out in Ontario, Canada, professional poker player, navigates this turn. Looks like he's going to want to lead out here, and Underwood is 5th in chips to start this final table.
200,000.
Alexander 3rd in chips to start.
No.
2019 Underwood went bananas at the World Series of Poker, Ali. He finished a 3rd, 4th, and 5th place at final tables, all in the deep stack events of $600 or $800 buy-ins.
Perhaps a specialist of sorts.
Blinds are up this hand.
And it looks like the blinds will be going up as we look at the bounties that were available here in the Hall of Fame event. And one jumps off the page. Not a member of the Hall of Fame, but next year's Master of Ceremonies at the World Series. Vince Vaughn, the actor, beloved for his work in Wedding Crashers, Swingers, way back in the day.
Ali, how about Old School?
Old School, of course, can't
yeah.
forget. Lots of big names there. And the most recent inductee, Eliel Ezra, was the largest available bounty, though the cluster's pretty tight, around $2,000. The premise, you're year in which you were inducted into the Hall of Fame was the amount of your bounty. Should anybody else bust you, they get to collect a little extra cheese.
Of the 12 names they just showed, only Jack McClellan made day 2.
All in.
The rest of the Hall of Famers, well, they dusted it off rather quickly.
Well, not looking to dust it off, but rather get it in is Jerry Wong, who moves over the top of the Ole Schemion open to 160 here at the 40 and 80 level. That represents a min raise, and 1.2 is basically 15 bigs and no customers, as Jerry will pick up an orbit's worth of profits. Had a chance to play some cash games with Jerry Wong. Very pleasant presence at the table. As far as his demeanor, unpleasant as far as having to deal with him in pots.
He may look familiar because he final tabled the main event, Ali, back in 2016.
Yes, he did.
8th place finish for 1.1 million.
It's always a nice kick start.
You sometimes hear music even though there is no music.
It's good to sing a little bit. I'm terrible.
He actually
Obviously,
finished
I have a
second
terrible
in
voice,
event number
but
74, the $2,500 mixed big
it's
bet
good.
event.
Clears the
To
mind.
Dennis
gets
Strebkoff.
the serotonin levels going.
Had a chance to soak up a few hands of that final table. And
Feel
thought
better.
perhaps it was a bracelet for Jerry there, who
Think
has
more
yet to
clearly.
pick one up.
Just all
Underwood
around
just
good.
throws the Jack 10 suited into the muck there. Doesn't decide to open, perhaps recognizing that Mark Rivera is under 10 big blinds. Looking to ladder up.
Well, the pay jump from 6th to 5th is roughly 10 grand.
Gonna try to refocus, try to win this thing.
All in.
Mark Rivera says all in, the shorty.
Ooh,
Can you count this down?
he may have.
Just these?
I think Schemion could consider calling here. Rivera only has
600.
595, about 7 bigs.
But let's not forget that the big stack oftentimes likes to keep the shorty
You
around
do,
because you
yeah.
can put the cuffs on the middling stack. So a little bit of bitter beer face, old Milwaukee style there on Schemion as he releases from the big. And Rivera gets away
What is it
with
now?
that King Tray. Shout out to everyone watching us on YouTube right now. Do us a massive favor. Hit that like button for more incredible poker content, including full World Series of Poker broadcasts, high stakes poker, and more. Sign up at PokerGo.com. Use the promo code BOUNTY for $20 off an annual plan.
Little thumbs up, Ali, little like button. Help us out on YouTube. Shout out to everybody on the PokerGo chat as well.
Is that us being thirsty? Asking for like buttons? Wait a minute. Benny Glazer appears to have just picked up a bracelet out here at
Second first.
one of our other tables
Where do you guys want the chips at?
on set. The emotions pouring in. Benny's one of those guys that works so tremendously hard at the game. Obviously very validating for him.
At least it makes me look like that.
It looks like there's the moment he knew.
Let's go, Benny. Let's go.
Kind of cool to be there for the moment it all happens.
Just love to see the emotion, don't you, Benny Glazer?
Truly, happiness and Raz don't generally go together. So to see someone actually smiling while playing the game is a fascinating sort of science experiment there.
Yeah, Glazer just lives and breathes. The World Series of Poker comes out.
Has to go out.
He makes so many final tables already throughout
Well,
his
I
young
just know
career.
that, like, if you just
Well, he's
look at
making
regular
$274,000 along with picking up that bracelet after
No, I didn't say you were. Just leaves room for misinterpretation, that's all.
I see it.
Ace-8, not enough for Underwood to open off of 16 bigs. Lays it down now, king-queen for Rivera, the shorty. And
All
again,
in.
he says all in. Rivera has $2.5 million plus in career tournament earnings.
Not exciting so far.
Surprised to learn that that was good for #1 on the Philippines all-time money list, as there's been a number of very accomplished Filipino players on the circuit throughout the years.
Is that right?
Can you push me the all in?
Doesn't
How
feel
is
right,
that?
does it?
2.5 million
there, right?
in earnings
Is
is
that
good
poker?
for #1. Wow, I guess I'm
I made a comparison between poker and NASCAR.
very surprised to hear that.
NASCAR.
What is it?
You know what NASCAR
You
is?
see his bio board brought to you by
Auto
Global
racing?
Poker Index and the Hendon
Race
Mob,
car.
So they're very similar.
the live poker collective.
Go around in a circle. And if you're really into it, if you're really into NASCAR, you can get into interested in how fast the pit stops are, like little intricacies of who's passing who and who's whatever.
Yeah, everything's the same basically.
But what's the main reason you watch NASCAR?
It's fast.
For the crashes. It's kind of like poker. Go around a little circle, little raise, maybe a little fold, whatever. Everybody wait for the right?
I see it.
Yeah, that's what's exciting. So let's see.
I don't know if that's accurate, Ali. When I tune into a little NASCAR race, I'm not
Maybe you guys can crash into each other.
looking for a crash.
I'm looking for those Southern Bells. A lot of those stops are out part of the country I don't frequent.
I don't know if that's true either. I've heard about your road trips.
What?
You're
Road trips?
you're a big
I
NASCAR
fly.
guy. You're into cars.
Not NASCAR.
Oh,
Be
Yeah,
serious.
right around there.
Stock car. Formula One now. Bougie. That's my lane.
You're a big under the hood guy.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
Ugh, come on.
Jeff Gordon.
Bunch of glorified moonshine runners.
Right.
I actually busted Jeff Gordon in a charity event once upon a time. I want to say at Caesars. It's like, you got nothing on me.
Did you show him your Ferrari?
No, I never had a Ferrari.
What do you have now? A BMW?
No.
Check.
I got you.
You just want to keep guessing for the whole broadcast? I'm sure people are
You have a
riveted.
Lamborghini?
Not anymore.
I knew you had one of those.
What are you, stalking me?
Well, you're a big car
Between
guy.
the flop and the turn?
You're a big
Here as Wong limped the small blind. 10 deuce, swing and a miss. Not so much for Torrey, however.
Oh, I broke it.
Check.
Portuguese national, 38 years of age, from Funchal, Portugal. A professional player with $563,000 in career tournament earnings, 18 cashes in the World Series. Originally from Itápolis, Brazil.
Still looking for his first career victory.
Bet 100.
They're hard to come by.
Certainly are.
And realistically speaking, definitely when it comes to the World Series, there are some very big earners who are professionals who still have yet to claim a bracelet. Earlier this year, Jason Kuhn got his first, but Kuhn with millions upon millions in career tournament earnings had not reached the summit.
I got people at home.
I'm from Brazil, but I live in Portugal.
45 minutes from now.
It's your small blind. sir.
There you see Torrey's
A
bio
little
board.
bar
6
that
cashes
I
so
got in
far
South
at
Texas,
this
they
year's
open
World
up early
Series.
so that people could come in and watch it. So they're
And
gonna
you
be
never
watching
know
it.
whether or not
Oh, that's pretty cool.
6 cashes covers
My mom, mostly just
all
friends and family, you know.
of the
Whoever
buy-ins
else happens to
across
pass by.
over 88 events. 80, is it 88 events? I want to say
It's a
bracelet
lot,
events?
and I think for most regulars, it's not going to cover it. You need a final table in there.
Well, you're definitely not going to
Yeah.
be playing all 88. It's just not feasible. If you get deep runs in certain events, you'll miss the registration window for others. So planning the schedule reminds me of trying to register for classes in college. Not that I was any good at that.
Jerry Wong also braceletless, despite his remarkable resume at the World Series of Poker.
160,000.
nearly half of his career earnings. More than $2 million have been won here.
Oh, that lunch might not be sitting so well. I mean, it might be a good read. I don't know.
Oh boy, the walrus. He's in trouble.
He's not the walrus.
The flying walrus.
That's Alexander's bar.
I understand.
Not a nickname.
I'm going with the walrus.
Why would you call him the walrus? You're out of order. 8-7 offsuit comes up short on a queen 10 deuce board. Wong, the villain on the button. Ace high, also disconnected from the texture. Nevertheless,
Yeah,
swinging.
absolutely. Come with a bit of a smaller sizing
Yeah,
here. Should certainly just get the
140,000.
job done very quickly. There it is, 140. Takes it down.
Thank you.
Things starting to wind down here at the Rio.
Are they keeping these chips for next year?
Look at the tournament summary. Brought to you by Solve for Why. Almost 500
Say
entries.
the Rio in them.
Oh.
$826,000 prize pool on the outside. Looking in
So they're gonna need to make like 3 or 4
was
different chipsets.
Mr. Sullivan. Ronald Sullivan, to be exact, from Bradenton, Florida. Almost 21,000, but no visit
Raise 100
to the final table. The official final table, rather.
Schemion getting busy, Ali, with the queen 7 of spades. And again, no bracelet for Ole.
Case in
Have to
point, there's an
imagine
example.
he's one of the guys on that short list that considered great at tournament poker and does not have a piece of hardware.
Meanwhile, some real hardware on the button for Torre. 2 red 10s. He is second in chips, though, and the one guy that he doesn't want to end up in some catastrophic collision with is the chip leader, Schemion, with plenty of pay ladders remaining between the 28,000 for 6th and the 106,000 for 2nd.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you just nailed it. Rather than 3-betting the early open under the gun, you're just going to elect to call, take the safer route, lower variance. You know, Schemion opening this hand under the gun, I think really it's sort of a clear sign of what he's been doing thus far, attacking all of these stacks, able to accumulate so easily.
Well, the chip distribution has been in his favor in that respect, and obviously he has a keen understanding of the opportunities that exist. And how about this flop for opportunity? Queen eye flush draw and a pair. The 2 10s are in front, but note that by the percentages, you'd rather have this queen 7 with 2 to come.
Yeah, let's see what he decides to do. For the times he may have considered raising a hand like ace-9, ace-10, ace-jack, you'd see a lot of checks on various boards, but here, the pair and the flush draw. He's going to size this thing up.
235,000.
235, no down bet here. Just going to put 10s and a world of hurt.
Especially because if you want to take a peek at this turn without a spade in your hand, no less, obviously you do have some straight potential in the back door. You are going to create a pot of over $1 million and then face that next barrel potentially on this ace-high texture.
I wouldn't be surprised to just see Torre. Looks like he's going to peel one time, but I would not have faulted him for just folding. We know that Schemion should be betting quite wide, but maybe not this sizing, Ali. I mean, he really kicked it up, 235.
Turn card is clean for the 10s. 2-tone board now.
It is clean, but let's see if Schemion decides to keep the foot on the gas. If he comes with a rather healthy turn bet, it is so difficult for tens to continue. That's part of the problem when you peel. What card are you looking for? What are you hoping happens on turns?
Note that Schemion decides to check because obviously Tori's willingness, given he's up against the chip leader, to flat from the button and then call that decent-sized bet on the flop does suggest that the sevens are beat. And some concerns over maybe having a sticky customer in Tori.
Yeah, if Tori checks it back, I think he's going to narrow that range right down, though, right? A hand like nines and tens makes a ton of sense.
That kind of card there, when the ace pairs, though, is actually a beautiful development for the two red tens.
Yeah, all of a sudden, we're comfortable. Schemion certainly knows what he's up against, right? It has to be nines, tens.
Check.
Maybe he just gives it up.
Check. It's going to be two
There it
pairs.
is.
Aces and tens.
That's a huge pot for Tori. Separates
Meaningful.
himself even further now. Second in chips behind Ole. He's got a lot more breathing room.
Well, Ole's still almost 2-1
Yeah, he's
on Tori, and Tori in turn is now better than 2-1 over Wong. So he's got the Portuguese rail fired up.
I'll tell you what, if Tori makes a real run at this thing, finds himself heads up, we're going to hear all of Portugal out there on that rail, Ali.
You're a big blind, sir.
All of Portugal.
I may go
French?
join
If
him.
you weren't here, you'd be over there.
Well, leave me here by myself.
Well,
There'd be three of you.
never miss a
Better
party.
harmony. Okay. No, this isn't gonna work. Not the cards I was looking for.
Hello, ladies.
What a spot on the button for Underwood. It's awkward having his stack size 12 bigs.
Raise 160,000.
Just very quickly, a min raise. Trying to get action. Nothing. Not even a sniff.
So disheartening.
It really is.
But he'll take all the chips he can get, trying to create some distance between himself and Alexander and Rivera.
Certainly.
80, right?
Shout out to you guys in the PokerGo chat. I see Norman Chad is with us
Wait a
here, having a little conversation.
The Norman Chad?
The Norman Chad is in the chat. I know it's him because I actually set up his account for him. So that is him. Confirmed he is in the chat.
He just can't get enough?
He can't get enough. And I'll tell you what, if there's ever been a couple of snubs for the Hall of Fame, it would certainly be Norman and Lon McCarron. They have to be getting in soon. And Ali, I hate to break it to you, but if those two aren't in the Hall of Fame yet, at their age,
You thinking about getting
I don't
out
think
of
you'll
line?
be breathing, pal, by the time you're on the old ballot.
Listen,
Not yet.
in today's cancel culture, if I haven't been exiled from this industry before I even come up for a ballot, I would be surprised. 2 jacks for Tori. A pleasant surprise.
Raise 160,000. Fold.
Wait,
I have a little bit better.
does that count as a fold when I show it?
No customers for
I can't
another
just show
big
you
pair.
4-3 and move in.
Are those cosmic
Not a lot.
bicycles on Ole's shirt?
And can you grab the button for me? Thank
I've been
you.
trying to figure out what that pattern was.
I actually ran into him in the parking lot on my
I get a
my way in
bicycle?
the building.
What if
And
it's 2 orders?
he
Get another
was,
sugar-free. I needed some.
you know,
bacon
trying to
with-
find the right headspace outside, and we had a little conversation.
Oh, I'm sure that a conversation with
Here,
you
where'd
is
you go?
the real path to the right headspace.
Well, he left rather quickly,
Good on him.
and
Like 1.6, Jerry?
Hit you with the quick offeaters in.
we talked a
Or
little
less.
poker. He used to play a ton, Schemion. Obviously online, one of the best to get it done there. And live, he took a little break after he started a family. He's got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old at
In
home.
2021, you know,
Resides in Austria.
all stacks have feelings.
Cover me.
And he's so
I'm counting
young,
my
Ali.
stack, you
Yeah,
know.
29.
I know, we know what you're
29.
doing.
And he already retired once.
He's stack shaming us, Floor.
Oh, the life of an online poker player. When 30 puts you over the hill, considering retirement. Fedor, I thought, retired. He came back.
He did twice. Yeah.
Doyle was supposed to be done with the main event.
Well, that one I can understand. I mean, Doyle, you know, but
Can't
Fedor,
keep a good man down.
Fedor's 25. He's retired 2 times in his career. I don't really get it.
Well, I do really get it when it comes to Rivera and his decision to move all in, sitting on ace-king. Schemion with the 2 threes gave it a thought, but best case scenario, he's up against 2 overs for a full run out. Not looking to give Rivera any spins that could give him breathing room. He bows out.
We're gonna talk about this later. I think my range was pretty wide. Ace 10. This was snapped.
So Rivera,
Definitely.
3 for 3 on these all-ins with no
Okay.
callers.
Thank you.
Quietly
Hey,
breaching the 10 big blind threshold.
are you going to Florida, April?
An effort to give his stack some playability. Well, thanks to everybody out there for tuning in to our free preview on YouTube. Show us some love by hitting the like button on this video, and don't forget about the more than $4,000 of poker content you can get by signing up for PokerGo.com. Use the promo code BOUNTY for $20 off an annual plan.
Now, hold on, Ali. Free preview, meaning we're going to go an hour. I'll tell you what. I'm going to make a deal with YouTube. If we get to 500 thumbs up, and if we get 50 new subscribers, and I'm going to set the bar low there, I'm going to run this whole final table for free. Whole thing.
Are
On
you
YouTube.
suggesting you have the authority to
I do.
decide
Yeah.
whether or not? Really?
I do. I'm going to keep it on YouTube and PokerGo for free. And thumbs up and the support that we get on our YouTube channel.
So it's time to mash the button.
Mash
is
the
what you're
buttons,
saying.
folks. Let's go. Thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Get us to 500 thumbs up, and I'm keeping an eye on those subscribers. If we hit our goal, I'm going to run the whole thing.
Looks like the tally is rising quickly.
Well, yeah.
Song for me.
Look at the influence you wield, Hanks. It's incredible.
I love it. I love the YouTube. I love the chat on PokerGo. I love the good people that we can engage with.
That's what I was thinking.
I want to keep them in here.
Nobody's gonna sing a song for me.
I love the YouTube.
I love the YouTube.
Do you have a VCR that's blinking 12 at home?
Oh, shoot. That reminds me. I need to record Murder, She Wrote.
Falcon Crest? What was it?
You ever seen Matlock?
I have seen Matlock.
that last
I was a
season.
Columbo guy.
Yeah.
Did you just try to say the last season as though anyone out there has any clue what the plot line of the last season of Matlock was?
What I've got on.
The Walrus. Just humming away here.
I ain't got a lot, but what I've
He's got a great voice.
So about
And that man a
12.
guitar.
What is that? Is that Garth Brooks? What is he singing?
What about me says to you country music?
Well, you're a NASCAR guy. We went over this.
We went over it. It wasn't right, but we went over it.
Didn't answer the question.
They don't let you come in here?
I don't
They don't let you
know
come in
if
here?
it's Garth Brooks. I
used to
couldn't
be
tell
like
you the
only
title of a
person,
single Garth Brooks
guy,
song.
like,
Could be Brooks and
Because it's
Dunn.
so, like-
It's one of the Brookses.
Thank you, Mario.
Who are you?
Anybody ever tell you you look like Bill Hader?
Tori shoots it up with the hooks. Out of the small, Underwood will peek down at a sub-premium 7-5 offsuit. And how are we looking on the thumbs ups?
We're looking good, Ali. Inching away at 500. We got to get to 5.
Where were we when you issued the call to action?
Like 70.
Where are we now?
490. Trying to get to 5, Ali.
What if we only get to 499?
We won't. We're going to get to 500. Smash away. Make sure you subscribe. We're about to hit a milestone there. 200,000 subscribers on PokerGO.
Well, how many subs do we have now?
Like, I have to go back out of this page. It was like 199, 700. We needed 300 more, I think, to get to 200,000.
Oh, did we just break the 500 likes barrier?
Yeah,
okay.
we're there.
So one of the 2 criteria necessary to get extended free coverage of this event has been checked off. And now you need to get the 50 added subs. Why only call for 50?
Okay. Focus.
Call for the 300.
I'm going to do a little tally. I'm going to go internal and find out how many we got. I want to get to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube tonight. And if we do that, I'm also going to give away a free annual subscription to our PokerGO product.
Who's going to get it?
I don't know. I'm going to have you come up with some sort of question, and they're going to answer it in the chat, and we're going to select a winner.
All right.
We'll work on that. Meanwhile, we've got action. What's happening here, Ali?
Ace-8 suited on the button has flatted the Schemion open. With ace-deuce suited, has itself in a good way, but of course, Tori continues to navigate cautiously against the chip leader. Rivera now, obviously, is getting a nice price with the queen 10 and will close the action with a call. 3 players to the flop.
3 players.
9-8-5 with a couple of hearts, 2 overs, and the gut shot straight draw for Rivera. Middle pair ace kicker for Tori is going to be the best hand here.
Check.
Pre-flop raiser does not follow through. That coordinated texture for Tori presenting some problems. Does have the backdoor nut clubs. Obviously hard draw out there.
Yeah, on the button, certainly we can have a bit of a wider range here that may include some of this, but you have to wonder if Rivera's got a strong enough holding to just
225.
Check and pile drive. Let's see. He may have room to do it. Although Tori would be getting a pretty nice price in the event that Rivera did go with it here. 2 overs and a gutter. Got that queen of hearts for backup. Is this the moment for the short stack?
$225K represents a decent chunk of that 715 that Rivera is left with.
How about this?
He's going to peel.
Just going to peel the banana.
Pre-flop raiser out of there. Now over $1 million in the middle.
I'll be looking for a when they pull
And the
that
10
game.
slides in for Rivera to make top pair.
All in.
And he is going to rip it all in there. Had a plan.
Not a great card for Rivera, considering what are we worried that we're up against draw-wise, right? The 10-jack, the queen-jack, the queen-10, they all come home. Would he ever do this with a worse 8 or a 5?
490.
So you're saying not a great card for Rivera?
Excuse me, for Tori.
There we
yes,
go.
for Tori. A great card for Rivera,
Yeah.
indeed, Ali, as Nick would say. a great fold.
Just
Sort of-
nowhere to go for the ace-8 from here.
Yeah, you know,
you're not going to bluff your man on the river, and you're just left guessing. And in what world is Rivera deciding to rip it in there?
Right. What are we up
without having
against?
the 8
We've
beat?
got an 8 in
Yeah.
our hand. It's never a 5, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mark Rivera beginning to show off exactly why it is that he sits atop the all-time money list for the Philippines.
I've never been. Have you?
I have not.
I've never left the country, Ollie.
Stop.
I've been to the Bahamas and Canada, so I guess those count.
Yeah, that qualifies as having left the country, Brent.
Well, so I've left the country, Ollie, but I've never been to the Philippines.
Okay. Glad we got that out. Ace-5 suited for Jerry Wong. Gonna limp in here. Somewhat unorthodox for the ace-5 to limp in if we're Jerry, but fourth in chips right now, and with the chip leader in the big blind.
I gotta tell you, I love it. He's a bit of a snug player. He gets a ton of respect. His image is fantastic. Everyone knows he final tabled the main. He gets that sort of respect, and it's worrisome. Like, what is this guy limping with? Let's see if Schemion sort of just sees right through it. It's easy when you have an ace in your hand. You eliminate certain holdings you could be up against. Would Wong limp with the 2 kings? Yeah, he might. If that's the case, you know, you're 30% with ace-3 off. He may just decide to apply max pressure.
I haven't played any tournament poker since 18.
What is Wong's limping range? There it is. Just goes for it. Sees right through it, Ollie.
Well, to be fair, Wong's not out of line, but obviously he doesn't have the kind of hand that's going to be able to take this sort of pressure.
No, he's going to give him the old little mean mug, though. Let him think about it. But I have to imagine we all know he's folding. It's one big blind, right? That's all you're risking to try and see 3. I can't imagine he limp calls it off here with ace-5. That would be pretty sick.
Nicely executed there for Ole.
Yeah, and Wong, you know, again, it's one blind. Who cares? Limp in, throw it in the muck, move on to the next.
Frustrating, though, obviously, when you have a top-tier pro like Schemion, who has got the X-ray glasses on. Just 29 years of age, but such a veteran. And the Germans are so accomplished on the circuit that 16 million is good for 6th all time.
Gonna need those X-ray glasses to figure out. Wait, what is on the bikes?
Hey. Calm down.
Some sort of creature. Is that like an? Is that an NFT?
It should be.
Is that what they are?
I mean, honestly, when you think about it,
I heard a story
you
the
haven't
other
seen
day.
your cards yet. I haven't seen mine, but I'm just trying to make 40K chips this pot.
About
It's not greedy.
a woman who sold an NFT for $400,000
Might be
or
wishful
something
thinking,
like that, and
the way you're
then
staring over here, but
made it free
Excuse
not
me.
greedy.
to everyone.
What?
After somebody paid her $400,000 for it, she just
Seems a bit
made it free. Everyone could have it.
But she got the money.
Oh, yeah.
And then gave it away for free.
And then gave the
Oh,
NFT away for
3
free to
chances
whoever
to win
wanted
this
it.
But
thing,
kept the
1,
money.
2,
Kept
3.
the money, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Love that story.
I love that. Yeah, that's
What with your apes,
right.
and punks. And
You have a bunch of those?
no,
Right.
no.
Gutter cats?
It's just absurd.
Right.
It's all insane.
But there's
Oh,
a
he was
moneymaker
never
one
wrong.
out there
I
for the
tried to call.
WSOP. One of
A little
one.
lighter than I guess he would have.
Get in there, Ali. That could
No.
be your
Yeah,
first
that's not a good
NFT.
Nope.
No?
That's not good.
No
That's a good
crypto
one,
for
but
me.
Would have been more interesting. I see that one first.
No NFTs. Get
Hey,
off my
hey, hey,
lawn.
I haven't folded.
Meanwhile, Underwood's trying to
No.
create his own NFT right here, all in.
save our time. Come on.
Hey man, I haven't caught a hand yet. I need to savor the moment.
Everyone treading lightly right now. Got that fairly tight cluster from Rivera all the way down to Alexander. Rivera got himself off the short stack and finds himself in third right now. Granted, didn't take much to get there. 18 to 12 bigs, the distribution from third through sixth. So could see some folks fall by the wayside rather quickly. And Torre with the pocket sevens.
160.
You say I've been looking for a unicorn eraser? Is that the lyric? That's a country song? The Flying Walrus is singing about unicorns in a country manner.
Listen, man, the notion that you would be surprised by that being a country lyric is offensive to country music. They'll sing about anything.
You know what else is offensive is getting piled on by ace-king suited when you open a pot with 2 sevens. Tori about to feel the pain from Schemion.
Call.
Or not.
Or not.
An interesting choice.
It really is.
Like 5.5, 6.
Maybe
No
just
problem.
hoping that one of these gentlemen wakes up with a hand that they can squeeze relatively light and we pick them off.
Oh, there you go. Let me help you out.
I am mightily surprised by
when they pull that game.
Ole Schemion here with the ace-king.
9-8-4, 2 overs to the sevens. And for Torre, there should be some concern about
I need to change the song.
Schemion's
It's
choice
too sad.
to flat the button.
Right. He certainly can have a lot of the 9-8 suited combos flatting there. Could be trapping with overpairs. Yeah, you don't love this spot. And
Zippity-doo-dah,
no diamond on board. Schemion may just think he has the best of it and try to get the showdown. Peel to see an additional street.
10 on the turn after both players check gives Torre the two-way straight draw in a 520K pot.
It's the truth. It's action. Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, a wonderful day.
Check.
Still no betting post flop. Now 4 pairs on the river.
Very careful.
I think Torre will be just as content to get the showdown as Schemion will be.
Yeah, although I wouldn't fault him if he tries to eke out a little value. It certainly looks like Schemion is checking back a bunch of ace highs, trying to get down to the river.
Well, it would be a dual purpose bet of sorts.
Right.
Because it could serve as a block, kind of defensive, dictate the sizing affair, as opposed to maybe letting Schemion come with something uncomfortable on the river.
I love this, Ole. He is going to dial up
160.
some value.
160?
And he's going to get called here by Ole. There it is.
Sevens.
Sevens.
So a nice little squeeze of some added Schemion bucks. Wong's feeling the rail a little bit there.
It's Mike Gorodinsky, I think, there.
No, it's not. The two-man rail is dedication, right?
I mean, to sing in English
you really,
or
there's nowhere to
Spanish?
hide.
So we can
The one-man rail obviously is
Portuguese.
real.
It's Portuguese if you're not from
And they're singing at that.
Almost. But yeah, the two-man rail, the singing, you can't be drowned out in some sort of cacophony of harmony around you. You're on display. This is America Does Not Got Talent.
Let's see.
Kind of situation.
Oh, I need, what is that?
Yeah, that's not going to happen this time.
I'd love to see Alexander get up there and sing with them.
Not going to happen.
No, it's not. What is the flag there, Ali?
Well, I don't know, man. He's from Portugal.
Is it
They're
the
wearing
Portuguese-
Portuguese soccer jerseys. What do you think? It's Liberia?
I've got two flags. I see upper left and sort of middle right.
I don't know what that other flag is.
Right. I don't know either.
The one on the right is the Portuguese flag.
Players all in.
Wong
Oh, my.
taking his chances with 4-5 suited.
Yeah.
Jack 8 is definitely not enough kit.
Yeah, Wong
for
with the
Torres.
11 bigs. I think it's the right play, Ali.
And that pot lets him leapfrog Ben Underwood and get himself into fourth by a skosh. You look at the bio board, courtesy of Global Poker Index and the Hendon Bob, the live poker collective, the 39-year-old Plattsburgh, New York. Talked about his deep main event run. Father of two
It's tough.
is Jerry. That'll teach you some patience. Won't hurt his poker. Maybe hurt his REM cycles.
All right, Alexander, our short stack. 9 bigs. And
Raise to 250.
all right.
Can you ask if I can use this side?
You want me to ask if you
Yeah.
Yes.
Because more easy for me. Don't have problem.
Sort of wonder if
Pat, can you-
Alexander were to get
it's
shoved
250.
down here, would he be folding the Jack 10 off? It may.
Please.
I don't know. 2.5x. He goes to 250.
I may have to wait
730
till-
behind.
For some reason, I
No
don't
worries.
think I can
I always
hear
think they have a monster way to do this, but clearly they don't.
Well, listen, Alexander marches to the beat of his own drum in the cutoff. Has been super snug, too, and has been
Yeah.
kind of
The
open
song?
about it. So the assumption is
I don't get a song?
he's got a strong hand.
You can use that box.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's all right. I bet you Saul could do karaoke, though.
Okay.
You got me? Cool. The eyes of Texas are upon you. There you go.
So it's a human jukebox.
Well, the eyes of Texas are upon you.
Gonna start
I'm
working
going to
again
his
now.
bar the next time I frequent
Get something going.
McAllen, Texas.
McAllen.
McAllen, Texas.
It doesn't have to be every hand. It's all right.
Is that a
Yeah.
big city?
Man, I don't know.
Well, you knew about the flag. I thought you were just a geography
It's
expert
one
over
thing to
here.
know about the flag of a country. It's another to know about a city in Texas.
Why would you know anything about your own country? Why would you? Just ask the wrong guy.
You're the one asking, so we're in the same boat. Brent is feverishly Googling facts about McAllen, Texas now.
Yeah, it is a city, Ali. Exactly what I thought.
It's also not where they make that whiskey or scotch or whatever, just so you know.
Really?
Did you just verify that it's a city?
I did.
Thank you, Brent. We were all wondering if it was a hovel. Perhaps a small village.
A hamlet of such.
Underwood, all in for $1 million. Just immeasurable. Really, you're a human science experiment.
No crashes.
Port Elgin, Canada. You want to tell us if that's a city or not? Brent, why don't you look that up?
Well, I will.
Maybe it's a port. You think it might be a port, Brent?
Well,
what would have given you that idea?
It is not a city.
I don't know.
No, it isn't. It is
No.
an unincorporated landmass.
It's actually very small.
I'm going to be super easy to read.
7,800 people live there. So the entire Underwood family, like 2 other families. It's very,
Generations of the Underwoods.
very small.
All in.
Players all in.
Not small. Jerry Wong's all in to 1.36 here. Off of a third place stack. That tight cluster between third and sixth. Everybody looking to separate themselves. Oh, Schemion has 2 6s now. Might he get curious?
Wong certainly would do it with ace-6 through ace-deuce suited. It's 13 bigs. Maybe we remove the ace-6, but the ace-wheel suited hands would be all in. Potentially even 5s, 4s, 3s, maybe deuces. I don't know. If you're not the ultimate short stack, which you can see, they're just oh so close to one another. It may not make a difference. So this is a tough spot with 6s for Schemion from the big blind. A lot of times you're simply just up against this sorts of holding, right? Suited Broadway,
50.
you're flipping.
60.
$1,360,000.
Kind of a big ask even for Schemion, because we have to imagine we're up against bare minimum 2 overs for a full run out. So the advantage in the best case scenario isn't altogether massive.
Yeah,
and obviously if
there
he
it is.
loses this pot as we see
Yeah.
him make the call, he's going to be down there near Torrey's stack. Jerry letting his rail know exactly what he's up against. Almost a pure coin flip. Two paint, pocket 6s. Ace, ace, 7, and the 6s are in good shape here. Jerry Wong could counterfeit those 6s if a 7 were to roll off. Queen or Jack could do the trick as well. He has 9 outs. If the turn is bigger than a 6, we'll add 3 more outs to the equation. And it is not an unfortunate 5. Freezing him at 9 outs with just 1 pull. Wong took his chances, as did Schemion, and he is prepaying here. What's the river? It's an ace. Ace is full of 6s for Schemion, who holds and sends Jerry Wong to the rail in 6th place.
Yeah, nice showing for Wong. Not surprised to see him in another World Series of Poker final table. Still chasing that first bracelet, Ali, but hey, 27,000 and change. Not too shabby.
Good job. Now he has more chips. If you even ask me how much I have in my stack, I'm going to just get mad.
I got it.
Trip to the rail before he goes to the cage.
Yeah.
For Jerry Wong, getting some love from his crew.
Nice hand, nice call.
Schemion has a better than 2-to-1 chip lead.
And you're the small.
Oh, yeah, you'd have snapped it off if there was bounties,
He's
right?
got
You'd have been
50%
like,
of the
that's
chips
never
in
a
play
bounty.
now
Yeah, but I wish there was
Yep.
bounties.
after eliminating Wong.
Yeah, you'd have called faster.
You're the small blind for 50.
Yeah. 50.
Yes.
And the chat, yes, YouTube, PokerGO chat. You know what? We've done it. We've hit the thumbs up. We are closer and closer to our 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much. We're going to do it. We're going to keep the whole stream here for free. the remainder of this final table. We're going to keep it on
Raise to
YouTube as
225.
well. Thank you guys so much for all the support for PokerGO. What do you think about that, Ali? Are you excited? You love the YouTube.
I'm a little concerned.
Really? What's wrong?
I'm just wondering whether or not my next paycheck's going to clear.
Uh-oh.
Is it going to bounce now that we're giving stuff away for free? Because I got mortgage, Hanks. I got property taxes. I got homeowners. Got a car payment. And I got a real hankering for fancy things.
You can live with me, Ali.
I said fancy things.
But
Not
you-
deeply uncomfortable
You
things.
said you've got a
Players
hankering.
all in.
No, that's not what that
Call.
means.
Oh, there's
Uh-oh.
that penalty, boys.
Got a collision.
Oh, no, no. I got an ace.
James Alexander decided to raise
I need an ace.
over the top of the button open from Rivera with an ace-7 suited. Of course, Rivera with the 2 jacks. With the snap call, you see Torrey talking it over with his rail.
Ace. Need an ace.
Rest of the field is almost always rooting for the player who is not all in, and on this occasion, it is the favorite heading to the flop, Mark Rivera. Has slightly more chips than Alexander. Coming into this pot, James needs help.
I have over him.
Three,
He has
five,
more.
But he has more.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Mano, eu não consigo ver. Mas basicamente eu acho que tem 1 milhão.
11,
12.
12. He's
I'm
got
behind.
3.
I need an ace.
No, it's,
No, he doesn't.
that's a million,
Oh,
1.1, 30,000.
No, put the winning hand up. Up.
Feel it?
I kind of do. I kind of do. I don't know.
Whoever wins this
I'll
pot
feel
is
better
going
when
to
I flop
slide
one.
into 3rd place. Rivera already there in this 5-pack, and the jacks are looking good on the
Eight of
King 9-6.
spades.
But of course, Mark would then begin to nip on the heels of 2nd place Giovanni Torre. The urgency lies with Alexander, who needs a spade, maybe a running straight card here. 4-1 dog at the moment. Now the king pairs,
good
and he
card.
is left pulling
Doesn't look like it's gonna work.
at an ace only. Three outs once.
What's meant to be is meant to be.
Can Alexander survive? He cannot. Kings and jacks
Don't I
for
have
Rivera.
Kings and 6s with an ace kicker? No.
Good game.
And it is a 5th place dispatch for James Alexander. He'll be taking home about $38,000 for his efforts. And
Yeah, sorry.
we've lost our soundtrack.
10.
Well, we've still got the Portuguese
Yeah,
rail.
I think
They'll
it's
be
just-
singing to us as they inch closer and closer to the podium and that bracelet.
I suck. Yeah.
Back to the Flying Walrus we go, Mr. Alexander, and 37 grand in your pocket. Nice showing.
Well, a big thank you to everybody out there on YouTube. We've hit our 2 thresholds that Brent Hanks solicited. You hammered the like button, you got us the subs, and now don't forget you can get more than 4,000 hours of incredible poker content, including next year's WSOP coverage by signing up for PokerGo.com. Use the promo code BOUNTY to save $20 off an annual plan. And of course, we're going to be giving out an annual plan to one lucky fan out there.
Now listen, we're inching closer and closer to the 200,000 subscribers. When we hit that, I'm going to give it away. Let me get an update from our stats team, find out exactly where we're at.
All right, so far we've locked in free
Raise to 200.
coverage.
Free coverage.
For the entirety of this event.
That's right.
But we have yet to meet the requirement to give out.
Yes, Ali, a free annual subscription an entire year, which will cover next year's World Series of Poker. And for our PokerGo loyal subscribers, I'm going to send out a No Gamble, No Future hoodie to a lucky winner there. And it's up to you, Mr. Najad, to
Raise
come
to
up with some sort
480,000.
of quiz or a question for the chat. So I want you to think. Maybe it's geography related, which you have showcased your skills thus far this evening. A man of the world.
Who somehow didn't know anything about McAllen, Texas. Or Port Elgin. Canada.
Well, you knew it was a port, Ali.
Schemion over the top of Rivera. Collar has been loosened for the third place stack here, sitting on 25 bigs to start the hand. Understandable open with the blinds at 50 and 100,000 to 200K, sitting on King Jack.
Call.
And he will stick around for the extra 280K.
2 players.
To the flop we go with 1.16 in the middle. Jack 9 deuce top.
Okay, perfect.
8 of hearts
Well.
works.
Perfect. Thank you.
Check.
2 checks. A welcome sight on the turn for King Jack as the 9 pairs and doesn't complicate the texture whatsoever. Mark still treading lightly. Does have that Underwood short stack looming. And the pay jump from 4th to 3rd of.
Check flow.
I mean, look at the intensity behind the eyes of Rivera there, just staring down Schemion. I wonder if he's giving away any signs of strength where Ole would consider halting. No, he's going to fire a little pressure on the turn. Designed to protect potentially a hand like Ace-8 when you're up against something like King-Queen, King-10. Obviously, Rivera going nowhere with that King-Jack.
Question has been asked. I was mentioning the pay gap between 4th and 3rd, roughly $22,000.
Call.
Mark does call. Queen is not a welcome sight on the river for Rivera.
And not a great card for Ole, I don't think. I mean, unless, you know, now all of a sudden we're trying to target 5s, 6s, 7s, which could potentially be home. Maybe a missed not flush draw that didn't contain a pair. And what is going on here? We're just going to come out.
Interesting and somewhat unpredictable line here from Rivera to just come out swinging for 600K.
Yeah, I think Ole's questioning, well, if you hit the queen with a hand like King-Queen, wouldn't you check? So what is it? Was it King-10? Where you somehow made a straight? Or is it just some sort of bluff? It is an unorthodox line for Rivera.
Obviously Ace-8, nowhere to go. But into the muck. And don't look now, Brent, but Rivera second in chips with $3.5 million. Just moments ago, he was the shorty, and it happens quickly.
It does. I mean, all the stacks are, with the exception of Schemion and now Rivera, 35 bigs. Torrey, he's got 32 bigs. Underwood are short stack with 12, but it happens rather briskly.
Speaking of briskly, we have any of those Lipton iced teas anywhere?
Oh.
That sound good?
It does sound
crisp.
Good, yeah. You know, I'm more of an unsweetened guy with the iced tea.
What kind of space alien are you? You're actually a creature from another dimension.
I do like the
unsweetened.
What are you, like
tea?
a raspberry sweetened kind of guy? A little hint of lemon?
Just sweeten.
Down south, get some of that sweet tea in you?
Anything.
Yeah. No, I can see you having that extra sugar.
Sweet tea is a little bit more like a glass of Aunt Jemima. I mean, that's
Aunt
way
Jemima.
too sweet.
Yeah.
Way too sweet. But unsweet tea.
I like you know, some homemade iced tea, completely unsweetened. It's been in the sun all day long. Have you ever had a homemade glass of iced tea?
If it's been on the sun all day long, it's not iced anymore. Brent.
Well, you
It's
brew.
just
That's how you
tepid.
brew it, Ali. You have the ice in there, and it's in the sun. You've never had homemade iced tea?
All in.
No.
Wow. You don't know what you're missing.
Call.
Okay. Underwood is not missing out on an opportunity to knock out.
There we go.
Well, he is covered, so it is not he who will do the knocking, but rather look to do the holding as the short stack. Woke up with the king-queen in the big, drew his line in the sand, and Torrey got caught with an 8-9 offsuit. Not a lot of kid.
Ivan? Congratulations.
Não, eu pensava que podia ser alguma coisa para poder falar também, né?
To the flop we go. 2.37 in the middle, and 2 4s and a deuce. Look very good for king-queen. The lone club holder. And the queen will ice it. 8-9 draws dead, so an inconsequential river will be delivered, as well as a healthy pot to Underwood, who now finds himself in second. Torrey has slipped into fourth out of 4. Technically the short stack, but sitting on 20 bigs. Has playability, and patience was virtue for Ben Underwood.
Yeah, Torrey, 20 big blinds as our short stack, but it is still anyone's ball game. 60 bigs for Schemion, our chip leader.
I think he's coming in.
35 for Rivera. Underwood and now Torrey hovering right around the 20 mark. The volatility, the chaos, the variance that is this beautiful game of poker. Title up for grabs, Ollie.
Indeed it is, as you get a look at the bust outs and the stacks as they stand right now. The last few competitors of our original 496 entries, looking for the lion's share of the prize pool. $52,000 already secured for 4th place here in the Hall of Fame bounty. Not sure how much bounty money has been picked up, by the way, out there amongst these 4.
Al, we didn't get the notes on that, if any of these players eliminated any of the bounties. It sounds to me like stats are coming in, though, Ali. 0. Not a single bounty collected by these hunters at the table.
Well, obviously, with only 11 of them available out
Right.
of Right.
For knocking them out. Can we get on that? How do we find that out?
I don't know.
Our
Brian.
producers will find it for us.
Right.
They're
You're looking
they're
at
listening.
me as though there's any world in which I'm the person to ask that question of.
Well, you've known
Which there
everything
isn't.
thus far, from the flags to McAllen, Texas.
Didn't know about McAllen.
Port Eldridge.
Didn't, but Elgin. You've offended 7,800 people somewhere in Ontario.
Guys.
Well, that's a lot better than the normal rate of offense.
You're trending in the right direction, Hanks.
Want to miss a hand or what? You want to miss a hand or what? No.
You want a Portugal fun fact?
I'd love a Portugal.
No, listen. They've got this show on HBO right now.
Okay.
About Garrett McNamara trying to surf the largest wave on Earth ever recorded.
Yeah.
And it all goes down.
What is
off
it?
the
Is it called
coast of
Point Break?
Portugal. No, stop. It's not a bank robbery movie with Kurt Russell. Was it Patrick Swayze? I don't know. One of
Keanu
those.
Reeves, maybe?
Like Reeves was
Yeah.
in there.
Okay, continue, Ali. Yeah.
Praia. Which I believe is beach. Del Norte. Off the coast of Portugal is where you get the world's...
Really?
They're like skyscrapers of water coming toward you.
Wow. Wow.
Pretty incredible stuff.
I'll check that out. I'm a big documentary guy, Ali.
Speaking of checks, Ace-Jack flopped a Broadway draw
Yeah.
and has not wanted to put any chips into this pot post flop, which was limped. Blind versus blind. Schemion's had the 8 the whole time. Look at Rivera, just a little probe. Test comes back positive. Ace-Jack is beat. 1 brown biscuit, pass to the left.
A little bit of gravy on those biscuits, Ali.
Now, everyone knows that with biscuits, you use country gravy, which is not brown gravy.
It's white.
Correct.
I see plenty of white on those biscuits.
I see plenty of results on that resume.
Oh.
My goodness. 7 figures a year since 2012 for Schemion. Just
wow.
Quietly doing his thing.
2.1 with the. Thank you.
I think he's
And
got
that's
it all
with
in.
him taking some time off to start his family.
You think
5-year-old and a 3-year-old at home. Boy and a girl.
You think it's all in Doge? Shiba?
Solana?
No, that would be like a legit
Yeah,
investment. I'm talking
okay,
about like
yeah.
the real roulette wheels.
Yeah. That's how you get it done. You have any of that stuff?
No.
No?
No. I don't have any of that stuff. .225 to go, says Rivera from the button with King 4 suited. No takers. And I believe someone has answered the call to action that you issued, Brent, with respect to the Vince Vaughn hand.
Yeah, hit me, Ali.
Why don't you hit me? You asked the question.
Oh, I thought you were about to read it. Okay, so Vince Vaughn fell to the hands of Kuhn Potney. Vaughn got it on good. Ace-Jack versus Queen-Jack of Hearts. And unfortunately for Vaughn, it came Queen High. And Kuhn Potney won the hand and the bounty and eliminated Vince Vaughn. And there you go, 10 grand for Mr. Potney. That's how you do it, Ali.
Vaughn was a 67% favorite to win the hand.
Yeah.
Against 31% of the time for the Queen Jack. So what did he do? He shook everyone's hand, said nice suck out.
I hope we see more of Vince Vaughn. He's not just going to come for the main event, is he? Do we know about that? Maybe playing, you know, a slate of tournaments?
Let me text him, Brent.
Would you? I mean, you guys are friends, right? No?
No. I would be friends with him. I think he's funny. But we're not friends.
Maybe we could get his number and see if he wants to.
Well, we suggest that
hang
like
out.
the decision with respect to whether or not to provide that number would be the same for you and for me, which, truth be told, I would rather ask myself as opposed to like, hey, can Brent and I have your number? That I'm not so into.
A lot of people told me I'm a lot like Vince Vaughn. He and I may hit it off.
He's like your spirit animal.
Yeah, it is true.
Meanwhile, Rivera opened to 200,000. Schemion flatted with a suited king on the button. Ace-8 came up short on the 10-6 tray board and check folded to the 215K from Schemion.
Have you thought about a little quiz for our folks in chat once we hit 200,000 subscribers on YouTube?
Well, you said there's 2 quizzes, or is it just 1?
Well, if you have 2 things in mind, I know you're
Well, the
a very
first one's
bright
really
guy.
easy. On a
Okay.
scale of 1 to 10, approximately how happy do you think I am to be sitting here with Brent right now? Bear in mind, there are 9 wrong answers.
Oh. I've always been a 10 in most people's minds.
Have you?
Well,
Have you? Most people being you, or?
yeah. Yeah.
Look, Hanks.
I would really like you to come up with something creative, similar to what Underwood is doing here with the Jack-4 suited in the small blind.
Right.
This is creative, Ali.
Off of the third place stack in 21 bigs, he gets after Rivera, the second place stack. And Mark has some ammo. Ace-10 suited.
All in.
Players all in.
Over the top it comes, and Underwood's Jack-4 buckles under the pressure. I see Brent feverishly looking through the Poker Hall of Fame Wikipedia page.
Now you told them where I was going to head, the direction. Now it's just easy to open the page, and they're going to find the answer immediately. Now you don't have to do any homework or digging. Now I have to change everything.
Oops.
Ali.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but if they're streaming us, they have internet, Brent.
Ali, I know.
They have the Wikipedia too.
They have the Wikipedia, but they don't know what the topic is going to be.
Well, once you ask the question,
it takes a little time to get the fingers out and type it in.
They're going to know what the topic is.
It's whoever's
the
the quickest on the draw. Now they're halfway home. The gun's out.
First time you're asking.
Yeah.
There's no question that you can
I'm not
ask.
asking because you're close.
Somebody's not just going to go Google.
Okay, I'm PokerGo chat, YouTube chat. I am going to find you a quiz question very quickly. I need an update, though. How many subscribers do we currently have? Are we almost there? If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we are trying to hit 200,000 subscribers tonight during this stream. If it happens, I'm giving away an annual subscription. I'm also giving away to our PokerGo loyal subscribers who are tuned in there and in the chat hoodies. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three hoodies. I'm going to send them out. But I need to find a question.
We got some surplus sitting around?
225,000.
Well, listen,
did we overorder?
No, we didn't overorder. These I haven't even gotten approved to do these things. I'm putting my job on the line here.
So you're saying I can narc you out right now for giving away stuff?
Haven't I already done it? I mean, I'm surprised Maury hasn't run in here by now.
He's definitely not going to run in here. It's not that serious. Serious, however, is how we can describe the situation for Rivera, as he is now toe-to-toe with the chip leader in a limp pot blind versus blind where they both check the paired flop. He manages to spike an improbable winner on the turn as both players shared a 5, and he hit the 7. Check call 2 1/4. Now after the 6 comes off, Schemion is still asking questions with no showdown value. Into 750, he fires 500,000. And now it gets real.
Nine high. Like a boss, they say, Ali. What a hand to do it with. Just absolutely nothing. Zero showdown value whatsoever. A pure bluff. Max pressure. And for Rivera, you don't have the sort of hand I don't think he can consider folding. You got kings and sevens, Ali. Sometimes you just got to pay him the money.
Easier said than done. Let's
It
not
is.
forget that Rivera does have 2 stacks out chipped by about 2 to 1 to start this pot. And there's real pay jumps for him to realize. I see him considerations. And the line that Schemion took here was very plausibly
Strong.
a king. Nicely done by Ole.
Finally, I win one from you.
Up and over 7 million for Schemion as we swing out to elsewhere inside the Amazon room. The $250,000 super high roller no limit event underway.
There he is.
The one, the only, Daniel Negreanu, Kid Poker.
10 seconds.
The Dominator, as you've christened him. Michael
My
Adamo,
goodness.
the Aussie, having such a whirlwind 1 or 2 months.
Aussie
Millions upon millions. Aussie Unger, yeah.
Aussie Unger, yeah.
Adrian Mateos to the right there. Imshirovich. Looks like he's got himself all in here.
Can't really make out the board, but that is a lot of chips in the middle, and Ben Heath in the blender, as you would put it, Ali. And he shows him the bluff, I believe. There it is. He flips it over. Just the ace of diamonds in his hand representing.
Was it not 4 diamonds
flush.
on the board?
Now there were 3. So we went for it, Ali, with a massive riverbed. Looked like an overshove of sorts.
I'm about to. I just asked him.
Still early in the event. Obviously, the last thing you want to do is hit the showers.
Can we
before
get
you've even settled in?
Imshirovich versus Adamo heads up? I mean, are there 2 more ferocious players on the planet right now? Maybe Kuhn, but Kuhn was eliminated early on.
Maybe Jungle.
Oh, did he? He didn't play, did he?
I don't know.
I wish he did. There's probably other words to describe him as well. Now, listen, I have determined what my question is going to be this evening in order to earn
Not complaining.
an annual subscription on PokerGO once we hit 200,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
No, you played it.
And
You played that one good, I think.
I will let you know rather quickly.
I might hear a bigger call. I might hear a bigger bet.
I'm waiting with bated breath, Brent.
That's what you're saying, I think.
I am too, actually. I want to know how many we have.
Actually, if I'm being honest, I'm waiting with lasagna breath.
Oh, my favorite type of breath. Schemion with a couple of hooks on the button. It's never believable on the button when it's from the chip leader. I was wondering what that sort of stench was. That is, you had lasagna right before you walked in here?
The thing about it, too, is lasagna doesn't microwave well. It's thick. The middle was kind of cold. Really was an unpleasant lunch.
You're talking about the lasagna.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm talking about the upcoming schedule of events. Just mark your clocks, 5 o'clock. Come back and see us. The 20th, the 22nd, the 23rd. High roller events abound. Final tables galore here as we work our way toward the finish line of the 2021 World Series.
Pound a little turkey.
A little turkey?
A little Thanksgiving. You're a big Thanksgiving guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
I didn't talk to my mom for a while after this one year. She forgot to get mashed potatoes. But then I forgave her.
One fold.
And also,
3 already.
No.
if you don't have gravy, whether it's turkey or brown,
Yeah.
brown the clear,
I think 3 though.
better of the 2, do not invite me
Too.
to your Thanksgiving. A gravy-less Thanksgiving is not a Thanksgiving worth attending.
Sure, it won't surprise
It
you,
is
but
a
I'm a
thankless giving.
big gravy guy myself.
I could see that. I could see you actually drinking out of the gravy boat.
I just, it's a glass. I mean, I'll fill it up and I'll pound it just like Underwood's going to pound this thing from the small blind.
1.6, I believe.
Oh boy, we may have a collision.
I like the guys from Super Troopers with the syrup. You're actually Farva. I figured it out. It's not Vince Vaughn that's your spirit animal. It's Farva from Super Troopers.
I'll take it.
Bet you will.
Who's the guy that wears the little shorts?
Oh, I don't know. Who
That's
that guy
you.
is. From Reno 911?
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy. No, dude, I'm obviously the mustache Indian dude.
Yeah, that's, I didn't want to be, you know.
On the nose,
canceled.
2 on the nose.
And
Rivera asking questions here, rolling up the
Sorry.
sleeves with this king-jack offsuit. Wondering exactly how much hand Underwood has decided to pile in here. On the 3rd place stack, neck and neck with Giovanni Torri.
Yeah, almost 1.6 exactly.
the floor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 500. 75.
This is a real decision for Rivera. He's been folding in spots like this that were close. You saw the 7 fold earlier to Schemion when he bluffed him.
Yes.
I think he's just sort of the guy that might try and find the moment, go with his instincts and his gut. And if he feels like it's the best hand, he goes with it. Not a lot of theory involved here.
61.
He is asking about that next level. How many bigs would he have if he were to?
Has the worst of it going to the flop with king high against ace high. A 3-2 favorite is Underwood for his tournament life here in a very consequential, almost 3.3 million chip pot.
Would you have called?
Rivera asking Ole whether or not he would have called with this king-jack. Perhaps second-guessing himself already, and even more so if he comes up short, which would appear to be the case on a 9-8-6 board.
Ace of clubs?
Even further in equity.
10 of clubs.
Turn pairs the board. A nice development for the ace tray. You see Underwood, a little nod of affirmation. 86% to haul this one in and slide into second.
Gonna be picture card.
The river is a 3, and the ace tray will hold. As Rivera
Yeah, let me just verify.
Okay.
slides the payoff over.
Yeah, back-to-back all-ins at the final table for Underwood. He won king-queen versus 9-8, now ace-3 versus king-jack. And all of a sudden, Ali, contender, second in chips with just under 30 bigs.
Thanks.
Got to win those all-ins. Haven't done it in years, Ali.
Is that so? Get a look at the chip counts, but somehow not a look at Brent Hanks's air guitar in the booth right now. Just a electrifying bit of banjo mimery, if that's even a word.
Sounds like the Black Crows.
Dude, I don't know.
No?
1.6.
I don't think that's country, but I still don't know.
So hard to handle.
You? Yes.
Not a Black Crows guy, huh?
Was that a name of a Black Crowes song?
Yeah.
Or just you
It's a big
empathizing
hit.
with my emotional state?
All in.
All in.
6s for Rivera. I'm beginning to actually wonder if you work here.
You deserve
Do
that
you?
one.
Like, can you show me any credentials that like support the notion that you're actually hired and paid to be a part of our operation? I know you're around all the time. You wear a lot of the gear. You appear to be involved in many projects. But Milton, are you just looking for your swing line stapler?
That's Lieutenant Jim Dangle to you.
Look, not a lot of obscure references fly over my head, but you just regularly hurl them. You're like,
Can we do the trivia question yet, Ali? Have you found out
I don't
about
know,
our
man.
subscribers? Let's talk to Remco. There we go.
Ducks folded by Underwood.
Absolutely. Wow, really?
Looking to enjoy his second place stack for a little while.
All in.
Tori and Rivera are now neck and neck, and Schemion will ask questions of them both from the button, or rather the small blind. We'll ask a question of Tori, forgive me.
Thank you.
Can you make out that shirt yet? It does look like maybe. Did you ever see Fraggle Rock?
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, it could be the Philly Fanatic as well, as we see Schemion's profile, brought to you by GPI and the Hendon Mob, the Live Poker Collective. His World Series of Poker stats in this graphic are inclusive only of U.S. and online caches.
U.S. Just U.S. Why aren't we doing
What's
international?
the king in the jack?
I don't know if that was right, Ollie. Schemion's got $16 million in change.
240,000.
Total career earnings, not just limited to the U.S. Just under $500,000 during the World Series of Poker. So today he's absolutely going to crack at least the $500,000 mark.
I think that 22 million figure is inclusive of his European caches. It's the 16 million and change we alluded to earlier that is non-inclusive. Obviously, it just makes sense.
They're singing for you now?
There's Mike Gordinsky, and who is?
That's Imshirovich's.
That's Ali, right? Isn't he in the 250? No,
he's not either of them. Yes, he's in the 250.
Love this.
Tori getting a kick out of it as well. As is the rest of the final table. Is Rivera looking back at his rail like, where you at? Like, let me get some love.
He's being left out. That's for sure.
Ace Trey on the button for the shorty.
$240.
Raise 240,000.
$240 to go with the blinds at 60 and 120.
Yeah, and it's also off of a 10 big blind stack, which again, you would think four-handed on the button. It's grip and rip season, and he's opened the door for this. Now Rivera can stuff it, and you have to fold the ace-3. Whereas had he shoved pre-flop, Ali, he just picks up the pot. I think ace-4 would be in the
I
mud.
want a song.
It's a interesting approach.
And again, Rivera looking back at his rail as if to say,
Thanks.
where you at? And listen,
Yeah.
as we look at the payouts brought to you by Cuervo, there are no strangers. I'll tell you that I grew up
Yes.
not far from a very large Filipino expat community, a diaspora
Okay.
out in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah.
There's one thing I know. There's a real passion for performance and karaoke in that community.
Really?
Variety shows are huge out there.
Oh,
So-
I'll be damned.
The talent is there. It's just not being deployed right now by the Rivera rail, and I'm not sure why.
Come on, Rivera Rail. I mean, I want to hear him. I love karaoke.
You just like drinking.
I love, yeah, well, but I like karaoke too.
But karaoke is like you go, you
Like this.
drink, then it doesn't matter if you're off key or you
Raise
don't get the words right. You make a fool of yourself and everyone laughs and you have a good time.
Yeah,
That's really what it is.
it's the whole
For you.
experience
Right.
for me.
Queen Jack suited for Underwood. Shoots it to 275 as opposed to 240, the min open. Gets a little optical dress down
Yeah.
from Schemion.
Sort of, has Underwood always been sizing it up a little bit? I'm not saying that this is overly large, but I thought he was raising to the min earlier. Doesn't matter, he's going to pick up the pot. Either way. Sort of wonder if he makes it 275 to deter Schemion. Of hands he would play defense with. I don't know. Maybe there's not that much thought.
It's your small blind.
Yep. No bracelets, 30 cashes for Underwood, over $500,000, and World Series earnings over 700 in total live.
I mentioned 2019, he had a ridiculous run. He got a third, a fourth, and a fifth in events in 2019. All of the 600 and 800 buy-in levels. He had a third in an $800 no-limit event, fourth in a $600 no-limit event, and then a fifth in another $800 no-limit event, all in 2019. That's a ton of people, Ali. Have you ever played a no-limit hold'em event, a bracelet event that's about the $800 buy-in level?
No, never anything that small.
You know how many people play those events, Ali?
290,000.
Yeah. In 2019, there were probably 5,000 to 6,000 people.
$290 to go, says Underwood with the ace-9.
Nine, 10.
Raise 910,000.
Three bet from Schemion's king-6 out of the small as he's beginning to lean on Underwood's second place stack.
Okay.
Taking advantage of Torrey out there on the shorty, and Underwood respecting the situation.
Yeah, just the sheriff, Schemion. That was beautiful stuff right there. Underwood did not even consider 4-bet jamming the ace-9.
How much you raise?
You have to be
How much you raise?
so concerned about those other stacks. Torrey, as you mentioned, just clinging. 6 big blinds left in his stack.
Jack-8 into the muck. Now king-4 on the button for the chip leader.
Raise 240,000.
Sixes for Underwood in the big. Did just have to fold that button open with ace-9 to the 3-bet of Schemion.
Yeah, I notice. I think most situations he would just be, moving it all in here. But because the other 2 stacks are so short, he's simply just going to call.
Nice board texture for him on the 9-9-4 board, and Schemion actually has hit the 4 here.
Yeah, this might get weird.
Bet 150,000.
Fairly small 150 into the 660.
Schemion knows this should win a high percentage of the time. Now, when Underwood comes with what I assume will be a call here, Schemion may not yet believe that his 4 is in rough shape. Is he thinking about dialing this up with 2 6s? No, really?
It would look rather strong, wouldn't it?
Raise 500,000.
I mean, it would, but you have to be a little concerned about Schemion having all the 9s. We know he's opening unbelievably wide from the button.
And a quick call from him is going to be very disconcerting.
This is where it gets weird, Ali. I think by making that raise, Schemion having a 4, and very content with his hand.
For these sixes, but given that Schemion made the call, go on, Brent. 1.6
Yeah, I think Underwood's
million.
put himself in a really difficult spot. You know, he's hoping that maybe if he checks here, Underwood, and it goes check, you're feeling way better about your hand. But if Schemion does decide to bet now on the turn, thinking that he has to deny some equity from what could be a flush draw, and look at this, he's going to come with it. He's going to bet, and he's going to put sixes in a horrific spot.
365,000.
It is on the smaller side. It's sort of a blocking size. It's sort of suggesting, hey, I've got a pair. It's a 4, maybe somehow a 5 of diamonds in his hand, although I think flush draws would have just gotten in. But this is rather uncomfortable for Underwood. And again, the other 2 stacks at the table not involved in this. Chips you put in right now, you sort of join them in jail.
Call.
Underwood sticking in there, and you can't blame him with 2 sixes, but.
And I think that, you know, Schemion's sizing on the turn is designed to get to the river. Oh, my goodness. However, this card changes everything.
Disgusting for the sixes. Backdoor spades show up and the king. And you note, sweet relief for Underwood not having to face a bet.
Wow.
I'm a little surprised not to have seen Ole decide to bet.
Yeah, although, you know, there could have been, Underwood could have had that pair with a backdoor spade draw. That hand would have made sense. You know, the 3-4 of spades, something like that.
But wouldn't that hand come out betting?
On the turn? After check raising?
On the river.
On the river, maybe, unless he just on the turn with the event, you know, in the event that you put them all in on the river.
So looking to induce maybe with that flush?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. If he did have that holding.
Call me a clown. I think I'm going for value with that.
But yeah, no, you're right, because it looked like the Ole could certainly have a 9. Either way, I think the check raise was tough, as played off those stack sizes. Once you get called. Now he did get very unlucky.
Deuce 3 suited for Schemion. The dirty diaper.
The dirtiest of diapers.
Raise.
Raise.
Shoots it up.
$1.9 million.
How much more behind?
Can give you a count in a bit.
Okay, Ole, let's do it.
All call.
2 red 9s for Rivera. Rips it in there and.
Famous hand.
That. Oh.
Schemion aware that there is
right.
some fame to the Deuce 3 suited.
Do it.
Obviously, that hand is in
Thank you.
very bad shape here. Heading to the flop, a big smile beneath the mask for Rivera with 2 red 9s.
Well,
Which are up against a gut shot straight draw on the
Scary,
Queen
huh?
6-5 board. 3.5 million chip pot. Some real sweat for Rivera. Turn card pairs the board. And now it is just the 4 outs once that Rivera needs to fade in order to double and stay alive.
Drum roll. Drum roll.
Schemion
4 roll.
wrapping the table with 4 fingers, looking for the
Oh
gutter,
my
and it comes in.
gosh.
Oh,
Oh,
new aces. Jesus.
Wow. Well, somehow the diaper just got even dirtier.
Okay.
Pleasure.
my
That's
goodness.
really good, I think.
as Rivera gets showered by a gutty on the end. 2 red 9s against deuce 3.
Yeah, I got it.
Not like
1.7,
this.
Oh,
17
no,
e eu
Ali,
7.
and now
Mas você
we've
Big
reached the
Blind agora.
podium.
Eu tenho
Rivera's out of here. Great showing.
1.7.
He gave it a fight. He was very short, was on his way out earlier, but found his way back into the match. And it is just all Ole Schemion. Look at this, 11.6 million. That's 83% of the chips in play.
And he could run through these 2 stacks like a hot knife through butter if he wants to, especially given that one would imagine there will be a war of attrition as they look to secure second place money over third place money. A big jump of $32,000 between those 2 payouts.
Big blind.
Yeah, you shove under the gun. That's right.
Sorry.
One big.
And by the way, hats off to Mark Rivera for taking it on the chin like that and not making a meal of it whatsoever. 1 wins, and off he went.
No, you play enough poker, Ali, and you're just dead inside. You know, you just roll with it.
I mean, they call it a gut shot for a reason, and honestly, that was like a blunderbuss to the abdomen.
Oh.
A rusty musket.
Can you move the button? It'll
Yep.
be.
It was a blunt object. Well, there was nothing
A
surgical
rusty
about it.
musket.
Cards again, please.
It's foul.
Oh, boy. That may have been your finest.
2 red 9s against deuce 3 suited. Good night.
Good night. All she wrote, Ali. Take care.
Violent. And all of those Rivera bucks absorbed into the chip leader, wire to wire, here in event number 79. As Brett mentioned, 11.6, 83% of the chips in play, up against 14 bigs and 6 bigs, with a big pay jump that both of those shorties are going to be looking to realize. And you would imagine that Underwood is going to try to wait out Torrey's fate here.
As he should, really. Torrey with 6 big blinds right now, and certainly Schemion's going to be shoving any 2 cards. Max pressure.
Yeah, he knows the routine here. But so does Torrey.
He does. And it's, you know, he's considering maybe the jack high. It is jack 6. I think jack 8, we're there, we're home. Jack 8 suited. Jack 6 is a little suspect, but I don't know. Maybe if you run it, you're supposed to call off of this stack. Probably not, though.
If it truly is any 2, then the jack 6 suited isn't in horrible shape. And that big blind ante out there right now, so
yeah,
that's added incentive in this specific spot.
I think you should fold.
I don't think so.
That's a nudge there from Schemion.
And it was like, it was honest. I think you should fold, but he's got the 10 high.
Well, anything that the man is tanking with
doesn't matter, right?
Wouldn't you think 10-8 suited is
Sorry,
behind?
Right. He might just call it off. I think he's going to do it. Wow.
Wow, yeah, very much so. Slight favorite is Torrey
Valete 6.
for his tournament life.
Copas contra 18 suited. Valete 6 suited contra Valete 10 suited. Valete 6. 18.
Good call.
I feel like I learned how to say jack 6 suited and 10-8
good
suited
shot.
in Portuguese
Easy.
just now. As the update provided to the 2-man rail of Torrey, who is hoping to break into song after this board runs out. 1.35 in the middle, a jack in the window, followed by a 6 with 2 diamonds out there. Flush draw for Schemion.
6 ball.
9.
Yeah.
Black 9.
Yeah.
6 balls. 6 balls.
Okay, give me a 7. Just a 7.
Here comes the turn. It's a 10.
Couple more. Take that.
Couple more indeed. As we go from 8 outs
10 is not gonna
to 10
lose it.
outs.
I hope so.
Okay, 8 of spades.
Will the jack 6 hold? River. Oh, my goodness.
Gosh.
Running tens for Schemion, and first the deuce 3, now the trip tens. And do we have a preordained bracelet situation on our hands?
I mean, not like that, Ali. The running tens trick. Oh, my goodness.
The diamonds we understand, but the running tens. Oh, my.
Oh, it is Ole Schemion's day. Could it be on his way to his first bracelet? An overwhelming chip lead, Ali.
Well, Sergio taking it well, but a pretty devastating spot for him as he ends up in third place with 74,000, and Underwood, the improbable heads-up combatant to Ole Schemion, who will take a massive chip lead, 88% of the chips in play to 12%, almost 9-1 for the German. 12.3 to 1.7, and as we set the stage for heads-up play here in event number 79, the $1,979 Hall of Fame bounty matchup. Brent and I will step aside. The players will take a short break as well, and when we come back, it'll be time for heads-up play. Keep it close. More to come. Ronald Sullivan, to be exact, from Bradenton, Florida. Almost 21,000, but no visit to the final table, the official final table, rather.
Schemion getting busy, Ali, with the Queen 7 of spades, and again, no bracelet for Ola. Yeah, he's one of the guys on that short list that considered great at tournament poker and does not have a piece of hardware.
Meanwhile, some real hardware on the button for Torre, 2 red 10s. He is second in chips, though, and the one guy that he doesn't want to end up in some catastrophic collision with is the chip leader, Schemion, with plenty of pay ladders remaining between the 28,000 for 6th and the 106,000 for 2nd.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you just nailed it. He, rather than 3-betting the early open under the gun, we're just going to elect to call, take the safer route, lower variance. You know, Schemion opening this hand under the gun, I think really it's sort of a clear sign of what he's been doing thus far, attacking all of these stacks, able to accumulate so easily.
Well, the chip distribution has been in his favor in that respect, and obviously he has a keen understanding of the opportunities that exist. And how about this flop for opportunity? Queen eye flush draw and a pair. The 2 10s are in front, but note that by the percentages, you'd rather have this Queen 7 with 2 to come.
Yeah, let's see what he decides to do. For the times he may have considered raising, you'd see a lot of checks on various boards, but here, the pair and the flush draw. He's going to size this thing up. 235, no down bet here. Just going to put 10s and a world of hurt.
Especially because if you want to take a peek at this turn without a spade in your hand, no less, obviously you do have some straight potential in the back door. You are going to create a pot of over $1 million and then face that next barrel potentially on this ace-high texture.
I wouldn't be surprised to just see Torre. Looks like he's going to peel one time, but I would not have faulted him for just folding. We know that Schemion should be betting quite wide, but maybe not this sizing, Ali. I mean, he really kicked it up, 235.
Turn card is clean for the 10s. Two-tone board now.
It is clean, but let's see if Schemion decides to keep the foot on the gas. It is so difficult for 10s to continue. That's part of the problem when you peel. What card are you looking for? What are you hoping happens on turns?
Note that Schemion decides to check because obviously Torre's willingness, given he's up against the chip leader, to flat from the button and then call that decent sized bet on the flop does suggest that the sevens are beat. And some concerns over maybe having a sticky customer in Torrey.
Yeah, if Torrey checks it back, I think he's going to narrow that range right down, though, right? A hand like 9s and 10s makes a ton of sense.
That kind of card there, when the ace pairs, though, is actually a beautiful development for the 2 red 10s.
Yeah, all of a sudden, we're comfortable. Schemion certainly knows what he's up against, right? It has to be 9s, 10s.
Check.
Maybe he just gives it up.
Check. It's going to be 2
There it
pairs.
is.
Aces and 10s.
That's a huge pot for Torrey. Separates
Meaningful.
himself even further now. Second in chips behind Ole. We're going to get to 500. Smash away. Make sure you subscribe. We're about to hit a milestone there. 200,000 subscribers on PokerGO.
Well, how many subs do we have now?
Like, I have to go back out of this page. It was like 199, 700. We needed 300 more, I think, to get to 200,000.
Oh, did we just break the 500 likes
Yeah,
barrier?
yeah,
okay.
we're there.
So one of the 2 criteria necessary to get extended free coverage of this event has been checked off. And now you need to get the 50 added subs. Why only call for 50?
Okay. Focus.
Call for the 300.
I'm going to do a little tally. I'm going to go internal and find out how many we got. I want to get to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube tonight. And if we do that, I'm also going to give away a free annual subscription to our PokerGO product.
Who's going to get it?
I don't know. I'm going to have you come up with some sort of question, and they're going to answer it in the chat, and we're going to select a winner.
All right.
We'll work on that. Meanwhile, we've got action. What's happening here, Ole?
Ace-8 suited on the button has flatted the Schemion open. With ace-deuce suited, has itself in a good way, but of course, Torrey continues to navigate cautiously against the chip leader. Rivera now, obviously, is getting a nice price with the queen 10 and will close the action with a call. 3 players to the flop.
3 players.
9-8-5 with a couple of hearts, 2 overs, and the gut shot straight draw for Rivera. Middle pair ace kicker for Torrey is going to be the best hand here.
Check.
Pre-flop raiser does not follow through. Kind of that coordinated texture for Torrey presenting some problems. Does have the backdoor nut clubs. Obviously heart draw out there.
Yeah, on the button, certainly we can have a bit of a wider range here that may. It's got a strong enough holding to just
225.
check and pile drive. Let's see. He may have room to do it. Although Torrey would be getting a pretty nice price in the event that Rivera did go with it here. 2 overs and a gutter. Got that queen of hearts for backup. Is this the moment for the short stack?
$225K represents a decent chunk of that 715 that Rivera is left with.
How about this?
He's going to peel.
Just gonna peel the banana.
Pre-flop raiser out of there. And the 10 slides in for Rivera to make top pair.
All in.
And
Players
he
all
is
in.
going to rip it all in there. Had a plan.
Not a great card for Rivera, considering what are we worried that we're up against draw-wise, right? The 10-jack, the queen-jack, the queen-10, they all come home. Would he ever do this with a worse 8 or a 5?
490.
So you're saying not a great card for Rivera?
Excuse me, for Torrey.
There we
yes,
go.
for Torrey. A great card for Rivera,
Yeah.
indeed, Ali, as Nick would say. It's a great fold.
Just nowhere to go for the ace-8 from here.
Yeah, you know,
you're not going to bluff your man on the river, and you're just left guessing. And in what world is Rivera deciding to rip it in there?
Right.
Rivera got himself off the short stack and finds himself in third right now. Granted, didn't take much to get there. 18 to 12 bigs, the distribution from third through sixth. So could see some folks fall by the wayside rather quickly. And Torre with the pocket sevens.
160.
You say
Raise
I've
to
been looking
160?
for a unicorn eraser? Is that the lyric? That's a country song? The Flying Walrus is singing about unicorns in a country manner.
Listen, man, the notion that you would be surprised by that being a country lyric is offensive to country music. They'll sing about anything.
You know what else is offensive is
Oh my God.
getting piled on by ace-king suited when you open a pot with 2 sevens. Torrey about to feel the pain from Schemion.
Call.
Or not.
Or not.
An
many chips do you
interesting
have?
choice.
It really is.
Like 5.5, 6.
Maybe
No
just
problem.
hoping that one of these gentlemen wakes up with a hand that they can squeeze relatively light and we pick them off.
Oh, there you go. Let me help you out.
I am mightily surprised by
when they pull that game.
Ole Schemion here with the ace-king.
9-8-4, 2 overs to the sevens. And for Torre, there should be some concern about
Then you change the song.
Schemion's
It's just
choice
sad.
to flat the button.
Right. He certainly can have a lot of the 9-8 suited combos flatting there. Could be trapping with overpairs. Yeah, you don't love this spot. And
Zippity-doo-dah,
no diamond on board. Schemion may just think he has the best of it and try to get to showdown. Appeal to see an additional street.
10 on the turn after both players check gives Torre the two-way straight draw in a 520K pot.
It's a truth. It's action. Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, a wonderful day.
Check.
Still no betting post flop. Now 4 pairs on the river.
Very careful over so far.
I think Torre will be just as content to get to showdown as Schemion will be.
Yeah, although I wouldn't fault him if he tries to eke out a little value. It certainly looks like Schemion is checking back a bunch of ace highs, trying to get down to the river.
Well, it would be a dual purpose bet of sorts.
Right.
Because it could serve as a block, kind of defensive, dictate the sizing affair, as opposed to maybe letting Schemion come with something uncomfortable on the river.
I love this, Ole. He is going to dial up
160.
some value.
160.
And he's going to get called here by Ole. There it is.
Sevens.
Sevens.
So a nice little squeeze of some added. No, it isn't. It is an unincorporated landmass.
It's actually very small.
I'm going to be super easy to read.
7,800 people live there. So the entire Underwood family, like 2 other families. It's very,
Generations of the Underwoods.
very small.
Olin?
Players all in.
Not small. Jerry Wong's all in to 1.36 here. Off of a 3rd place stack. That tight cluster between 3rd and 6th. Everybody looking to separate themselves. Oh, Schemion has 2 6s now. Might he get curious?
Wong certainly would do it with ace-6 through ace-deuce suited. But the ace-wheel suited hands would be all in. Potentially even 5s, 4s, 3s, maybe deuces. I don't know. If you're not the ultimate short stack, which you can see, they're just oh so close to one another. May not make a difference. So this is a tough spot with 6s for Schemion from the big blind. A lot of times you're simply just up against this sorts of holding, right? Suited Broadway, you're flipping.
60.
$1,360,000.
Kind of a big ask even for Schemion, because we have to imagine we're up against bare minimum 2 overs for a full run out. So the advantage in the best case scenario isn't altogether massive. Yeah, obviously if he loses this pot, as we see him make the call, he's going to be down there near Torrey's stack. Jerry letting his rail know exactly what he's up against. Almost a pure coin flip.
It really is a show within a show. And we get to know why.
Welcome back for continuing coverage of event number 79 here at the 2021 World Series of Poker. It's the $1,979 Hall of Fame bounty event, and just 2 remain of our original 6. And it ain't close. Ole Schemion and Ben Underwood. Shot and Brent Hanks alongside. It is base camp at Everest for Ben Underwood. A momentous climb required for him to get off of these 14 big blinds and somehow emerge victorious. And as if the chip disparity isn't difficult enough, how about the resume for Ole Schemion, who has 16 million plus in career tournament earnings versus the 700 and change for Ben Underwood. Both are professional poker players. So no surprise that they find themselves here laying claim to a minimum of $106,618. Good for second place as you look at the payouts for already collected. Brought to you by Cuervo. There are no strangers and there are no hiding places in heads-up poker. Every single pot, you're in a blind.
Call.
And Schemion will kick things off, limping the button with 9-3. Both players are sharing a 9, and probably so.
Check.
Both players also looking to pick up their first career World Series of Poker bracelet. For Ole Schemion, would be one heck of an addition to his elaborate resume thus far.
King, Queen, 8, a pair of 8s for Underwood, who checks it over to Schemion, who has the flush draw and fires. 120K min bet.
Call.
Underwood wants to see the turn. 600 in the middle now. Board pairs.
Check.
And Schemion did limp the button in heads-up play. Considering the big blind ante is in effect, you should never, ever fold.
Check.
That is absolutely optimal. The price is always oh so good.
And it's
too
oh
good.
so sweet to hit the 8 on the river and make 8s full of queens.
I think Underwood maybe now we probably just have to go for a little bit of value for the times that we happen to have been up against a king. And that's game over. So be sure, if you're tuned in, subscribe now to our YouTube channel. As we speak, if we get to 200,000 subscribers, I'm giving away an annual subscription. It's going to happen.
Meaning it's coming out of your paycheck?
It's coming out of my paycheck, Ali. I'm going to buy it. I don't get paid, though, so.
I was just going to say, you're
Yeah.
now working. You're paying to work if
Yeah.
you do that. Right. I still am waiting to see some sort of corporate ID card or.
You know what? I'm gonna put it out there. After this hand, I'm gonna put it out there. I have a question lined up for the fans. We're close enough in my book. I'm just gonna do it.
We're close enough to what?
The 200,000 subs.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't just keep dangling the carrot and then not give it away.
It's a good point.
I'm gonna do it.
Min raise open on the button from the 10-5 suited. Schemion with a real solid heads-up holding. King, queen suited.
Yeah, and given the nature of these chip stacks, king queen suited is certainly good enough to just simply, if
Raise
you'd
to
like,
620.
move it in. He's going to elect to just 3-bet, and that hand is over. So here it is. Here's the trivia. I'm going to get it in real quick. My question for you, chat, both on PokerGo and YouTube. Tag at Ali Najad at Twitter. Tag at Buffalo Hanks on Twitter. Tag at PokerGo on Twitter. I need to know total live earnings for Ali Najad right now. First one in the chat to get it correct. Total live earnings for Ali Najad. It is a big number. Here we go. You will
Now,
win
is
a
that
subscription.
tournament earnings?
And our moderators in chat.
Does it say how many tournaments I've played?
All in.
I don't know, but here we go. Ace-5 and Underwood. Oh, it's going in. This could be it right here, folks. Get the answer in. Let's watch this last hand. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Underwood with King-Jack decides it's time to spin. Schemion with the ace, asked for it all. 3.3 million in the middle. To the flop we go. A 10 in the window was nice, but followed by
my.
2 aces. A disastrous situation for Underwood, who's just laughing it off.
I got something. Got some outs.
Goes from 6 outs pre-flop to 4. And on the turn, neither player has a flush draw, so Ben Underwood. Ole Schemion is going to put a cherry on top of an already illustrious Sunday's worth of professional poker resume. And he's done it.
Congrats,
The
man.
4 of hearts on the river, making it official. The German
Good game.
picking up $172,000 for first place. And of course, his first ever World Series of Poker bracelet.
Very fitting. Great champion, Ole Schemion. He needed this little bracelet on his resume. He's won so many tournaments. He was lacking hardware. One of the best tournament pros to do it.
Washing
Gets
it
it
down with a little coconut water, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken there.
Yeah.
It's on the healthy side of the spectrum, and a healthy haul. As mentioned, $172,000 for him. For Ben Underwood, he did well for himself. Brent, $106,000, chipped up, laddered up. But in the end, it was just an insurmountable disparity against the German. The writing felt like it was up against the wall. Schemion took a deuce 3 to victory and a 10-8 as well. And hold that thing up, young man. They're tough to come by. The smiles, not so much, however, for Schemion. Positive energy coming off of him, and positively thrilled that all of you joined us here for this evening's coverage of the 2021 World Series of Poker main event, event number 79. Don't forget, tomorrow we bring you high roller action, super high roller in fact, 250K final table, happens at 5 o'clock. I'll be back for that. In the meantime, however, on behalf of our entire crew here in Las Vegas and Brent Hanks, I'm Ali Najad saying so long from the Rio.